Hi, I'm Katie Payne, and I'm here with my co-host,
Federico Moreno.
And welcome back to Good Evening KU. It is a whopping 90 degrees outside right now on October 2nd. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like fall's coming anytime soon. I mean, it's already the fall season, but it doesn't feel like it for sure.
I know. I'm really suffering. As a Chicago native, this Lawrence heat is very foreign to me.
I like the heat.
Yeah.
I'm from Florida. I'm kind of scared of the cold. I like the snow, but I don't like the cold. But I'm enjoying this for as long as it lasts.
Yeah, the heat and the cold are so different, but no one pole is better than the other. We've got some statistics. This year's freshman class is 5,295 people in it, and it's the highest total ever. I'm one of those freshmen, so honored to be a part of that. And our out-of-state freshmen have increased by 24%. I'm also an out-of-state freshman. And then also 25.7% of students at KU are minorities, and that's the highest it's ever been.
That's impressive. I
know.
The KU is just growing so much.
Yeah.
Many more people want to come here to pursue their undergraduate and just pursue their college career. So that's great to see as a Jayhawk.
I know. I love being a Jayhawk.
Meanwhile, talking about football, KU played down in Austin. We went down as part of KJHK, and we were part of the crowd down there. And I mean, KU kept a competitive game all throughout till the third quarter. They were able to take the lead at one point, and then Texas became Texas. But Coach Leipold said he didn't know Jalen Daniels was a game time decision, and on the last minute didn't end up playing. But Lance Leipold said today in the press conference that he didn't know when he was going to return.
Jalen did not practice today. He's still working with the training staff and doctors right now. Well, of course, when your starting quarterback wasn't available, it's concerning, and he's not practicing on the first day of prep. But I view it as a day-to-day situation right now, according to our training staff, and we'll see where that goes. And
with Daniels out, the Jayhawks had to look over to second quarterback Jason Bean, who had seen some experience as starting quarterback after Jalen Daniels fell last season during midpoint of the season. But the game was much closer than most fans anticipated, and the final score indicated that Coach Lance Leipold cited just a few mistakes cost of the Jayhawks.
We battled. Again, we didn't get off the field enough, and we didn't convert third downs, and we had some drops early in the game that would have been tough catches, but plays we've made. We just had. Now I kind of feel the same. We never did have a rhythm offensively that we got ourselves into. The fourth and one play. We're down 7 or whatever, or 6 at the time. We have a chance. Jason made the right read to pull the ball and ended up on the ground. I mean, we get a first down. We're close to midfield, I think.
All right, Federico, tell me about your trip. How was the game and how was getting there?
It was a lot of fun. We went down on Friday morning, actually, and we had some few traffic stops on the way, but it was a lot of fun, and Austin's just a great city to be. Saturday, the game was incredible. The atmosphere was electric. And Sunday we drove back up. The drive back felt a little shorter than it did on the way there.
That's surprising, actually. How far away is it?
It was about 12 hours down there, 10 hours back.
Oh my gosh, I did not know that.
But
yeah, can't say I've ever driven to Texas before.
It's fun.
Yeah?
I'm a big road tripper. So.
Did you take a good half of the driving, or how was it split up?
My friend drove all the way down, then I drove most of the way back.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like to drive.
Well, speaking of football, Taylor Swift was seen supporting her bae, Travis Kelce, for the second week in a row, which I'm pretty excited about. Travis Kelce, better than her ex-man, Maddie Healy, that she was just with for a couple weeks. So the Swifties are excited about this, and I'm one of them.
I mean, it's incredible to see how much popularity this has gained.
Yeah.
I feel like it's growing. It's helping the sport of football grow.
Right.
And yeah, it's really.
I know. One of my professors said today that his wife watched like her first NFL game this weekend, and it was just to catch a glimpse of Taylor Swift. So I support that, and it's a whole new audience of people that probably have not been watching Chiefs games or football in general before.
Do you think she's going to go to the Germany game when they play the Dolphins?
I did not know that was happening, but you know, I don't think so. She must not be touring anymore, but I think she would do it for Travis. Beyonce was also here last night, and kind of controversial because she came on 2 hours late. So I had a friend that went to that. I talked to some other people that went there, and I think it was her last stop on her tour. So yeah.
I feel like I don't know, from the concerts that I've been to, the artists never go on time.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if
they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, have respect for your fans, you know?
Oh my gosh.
I'm not saying that it's disrespectful, but...
Talking bad on Beyonce.
No, not on Beyonce. I mean, Travis Scott made me wait like 3.5 hours for a concert once.
Oh, Travis Scott, he's a little controversial though.
Yeah, like, Bad Bunny made me wait 2 hours twice.
Wow.
Twice.
You're loyal then for being there twice.
Yeah. I don't know. I like him, but...
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Just show up on time. It's not that hard. That's all I
Yeah.
have to say.
Well, I think we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks for tuning in, and happy Monday.
We'll be back with an interview with Steve Rottinghaus right after the break.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Welcome back to Good Evening KU. I'm here with our special guest, Steve Rottinghaus. He's the J-School Career and Outreach Coordinator. Steve, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
No, of course. And just tell us a little bit about what you do here in the journalism school. What's your day-to-day look like?
Yeah, I'm the Career and Outreach Coordinator. I'm in my 9th year. So a big part of my job is to help students like yourself find those internships, find those jobs, think about life after KU. I love to do mock interviews, get students thinking about networking, making some professional connections, and a big part of my job is to coordinate a career fair in the fall and spring, and our career fair for the fall is 2 weeks away from this Thursday, October 19th.
Awesome. Share us, a little bit about your background. How did you end up here in the journalism school?
Yeah, I was born in Kansas City, grew up in Topeka, so I've always pretty much been in Northeast Kansas, except for 6 months. I spent some time at the Dallas Times, News Herald, just out of college, and had some buddies. They always had season tickets to KU football. I would always tag along. We're talking quite a few years ago, like late 70s, early 80s, and fell in love with the campus. Always had a love for journalism. I think 5th grade, I had a teacher. She goes, "Hey, what do you want to be when you grow up?" And I said, "I want to be a sports writer." So always had that in the back of my mind. Came to KU in the mid 80s, and did the sports writing thing for 16 years. I was in Topeka, my hometown. That's where I started, and then I spent some time in Dallas. I was there for about 6 months. You might know Skip Bayless. I know he gets a lot of TV coverage. He was about 3 desks down from me. He has no idea who I am, by the way. And then Manhattan Mercury. I did some high schools there, covered some K-State, and then the Lawrence Journal World was my last job. I worked there for 11 years, 8 years in high schools. I loved it. I did high school sports column every week. Mm-hmm. And then once I had kids, the nights and weekends was becoming a challenge. So they had an opening for special sections editor, more of a daytime job, where I did the KU edition, the Progress, and we had like a bridal tab. There's about 5 tabs scattered throughout the year. And I really enjoyed that. I also did internal communications for the company, and we did company newsletters. And then my last 10 years after that, I was a PR director at a small university, Baker, which is just south of here. And that was kind of the strat-com part of my background, where I did a lot with social media, media relations, crisis communication. And probably the favorite part of that job was I was a lead writer and editor for our alumni magazine. That's always been kind of my love, that whole, the storytelling, the features, finding what makes people tick.
Yeah. What advice would you share for journalism students that are pursuing an undergraduate degree and want to follow a career into the sports industry?
Yeah, it's a fascinating time, for sure. Every organization, like if you look at all the sports teams, they have some pretty robust communications teams. I mean, they're looking for web content, social media content. I'm sure when you go to a sporting event, you see a lot, with the video board. I mean, those are actually becoming some pretty nice jobs right now, where you got to create content, be super creative, make those connections. NIL has opened up some doors too, where you got to tell stories and coordinate some events, make some connections. So, like I always say when a student's visiting, everybody's looking for that great storyteller. It's not the same as it was when I graduated. You pretty much had TV, newspaper, and radio. But now with the internet, social media, every organization kind of wants their own little media team in a way.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a fascinating time.
So you mentioned about growing up watching KU football games. Is football your favorite sport? What's your favorite sport?
Baseball's my favorite sport. That's what I played pretty much growing up. I still play slow pitch softball, believe it or not. Been with the same team for 30 years, and we have a good time. But yeah, from a sports writing standpoint, baseball was always my favorite one to play and watch.
Yeah.
And then sports writing, I did a lot with basketball, a lot with football. And I always took a lot of pride when I covered high schools here in Lawrence and Manhattan, trying to treat every sport the same. I mean, I covered pretty much every sport that offered at high school, again, between cross country, volleyball, gymnastics, wrestling, baseball, football, basketball. So yeah, I always had fun. And golf, I always had a mom one time, she goes, man, you must know a lot about golf. And I'm a terrible golfer, but I was able to tell that story. So it was a good time.
Yeah. Tell us a little more about the career fair. I know it's coming up.
Yes. We're hoping for 30 companies. Right now I've got 20 solid registrations. We're still a little over 2 weeks, and some companies are still trying to decide if they're going to make that commitment. But yeah, we'll have TV stations. I think we have 2 from Wichita, 2 from Kansas City, and 2 from Topeka coming in. We'll have the local news like Lawrence Times, Lawrence and the World will be here. We'll have ad agencies, communications firm, digital marketing agencies. Pretty much anything you can think of that's connected to the J-School curriculum should be represented here at the career fair.
Yeah.
We're also going to have a LinkedIn photo booth, which is always popular. So if a student needs a new headshot, say for their website, LinkedIn profile, portfolio, we'll have a photographer on site with a nice backdrop, nice lighting.
Yeah.
A resume breakout room, pretty popular. We'll have professionals throughout the day. It's just drop in where you can show up, get like 10-minute feedback on your resume. Hope students take advantage of that.
Yeah. What would you recommend for the students to come, and is there anything that they have to do in anticipation to sign up? Or
there's no pre-registration. I mean, I try to track once they arrive. I like for them to sign in just to get a feel for like what year in school they are, what their major is. Treat it like you would an actual interview. I mean, it's not meant to be a high-stress situation, but have like a dozen resumes ready to hand out. Dress business casual at the least. Try to keep it professional. And these companies want to get to know the students as much as you want to get to know them, because they're going to be asking questions like, oh, tell me about yourself. What do you hope to do once you graduate? So they like having that conversation as well. And if students are a little nervous about showing up, I've learned in my 9 years, if you bring a friend, that makes a huge difference. I see that all the time where they'll walk in together. They're a little uncertain like which direction they want to go. But having that friend there for support does help a lot.
Yeah. What opportunities can this open up for younger students pursuing, something after college?
Yeah, it's open to all students of all age. I love to see underclassmen there in addition to the upperclassmen, because I think it's important just to find out what kind of jobs are out there, especially for those students who might not know exactly what they want to do. So hopefully this career fair will provide a little bit of clarity. I know one success story I had last year that I'm definitely aware of. A student made a connection. She interned with them this summer, and then she got a full-time job. And I'm not sure if that would have happened. Would not have happened if she probably did not make that connection at the career fair. So there definitely is a chance that it can lead to internships and jobs for sure.
Sweet. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
Yeah, it's 10 to 3, October 19th, open to all students. Don't feel like you have to be there the entire time. If you can devote like 1 solid hour, try to research some companies that are going to be there in advance. If you just go to our website, you can find information there, so you can kind of have more of a professional type dialogue.
And it'll be here on the main floor of the J-School.
Main floor and also on the up floor. We're going to split the room. There'll be about 10 companies here and 10 on the the third level, because that's where we're going to have the LinkedIn photo booth and also the resume breakout room.
Sweet. Well, thank you for joining us again, Steve. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Walking alone in a college town can be dangerous, no matter the time of day. Lawrence might seem like a small town, but there is still tons of crime that happens. You never know where and or when people are planning to attack, so it is better to be safe than sorry. Being by yourself is never the answer. That's why people should always walk within a buddy system. Having at least 3 people to walk with can help with getting home safer. Going out in a bigger group is definitely the way to go, so everyone can be assured they are safe. If walking home isn't an option, calling KU Safe Ride is the next best option, or ordering an Uber with your friends. Stay safe and always keep a buddy with you.
Welcome back, I'm Tyler.
And I'm Caden. This is your Good Evening KU News Update. Hardline Republicans are not happy with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Representative Matt Gaetz told CNN that he intended to file a motion to remove McCarthy this week after a last-minute spending bill was passed last week by relying on Democratic votes. The spending bill narrowly avoided a government shutdown that would have begun on Sunday. The law now provides funding through November 17th. However, the bill did not include any financial aid for Ukraine, which had been a demand for House Democrats. President Biden had requested an additional $24 billion in aid to Ukraine.
A federal agency is now suing the restaurant chain Chipotle for religious harassment after a Kansas manager ripped off an employee's hijab in 2021. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission alleged that the manager asked to see the employee's hair. After refusal, he grabbed and forcibly removed part of the hijab. According to the Associated Press, the lawsuit claims that Chipotle violated federal civil rights law protecting employees and job applicants from discrimination based on religion, race, ethnicity, sex, and national origin.
An Amber Alert was issued on Sunday for 9-year-old Charlotte Senna after she vanished from upstate New York after going for a solo bike ride during a campaign weekend. Charlotte was biking with her friends and then decided to do a lap on her own but never returned. Charlotte went missing at Moreau Lake State Park in Saratoga County, and although her bike was found, there's still no sign of Charlotte.
Former President Donald Trump is facing a $250 million lawsuit accusing him, his 2 sons, and other top executives in the Trump administration of fraud. The organization allegedly inflated the value of his properties and net worth over the course of 2 decades. Kevin Wallace of the AG's office said that Trump knowingly overvalued his statements between $812 million and $2.2 billion.
University of Texas transfer student and now ex-Kansas basketball player Arterio Morris was charged on Friday with 1 count of rape against an unnamed 18-year-old student. The alleged incident occurred in McCarthy Hall this year. Morris was immediately dismissed from the KU basketball program and will attend his first court date on October 18th.
After the death of U.S. Senator Dianne Feinstein, California Governor Gavin Newsom appointed 44-year-old LaFonza Butler to senator. She was previously the lead of Emily's List, a program that worked to elect Democratic pro-choice women into office. Prior to this, she worked as senior campaign advisor to Kamala Harris in 2020. Butler will hold this position in Congress until the 2024 election, where her role could be made permanent until 2031.
For sports, let's toss over to Gus.
Thanks, Caden. The football team unexpectedly lost quarterback Jalen Daniels before the game even started, and the Jayhawks could not overcome the strength, size, and speed of the Texas Longhorns on Saturday in Austin. On the way to a 40-14 victory, Texas more than doubled the time of possession and outgained Kansas by more than 400 yards. Jayhawks did not convert on 3rd or 4th down all game and not once entered the Texas red zone. Before the game, team officials announced that Daniels had re-injured his back and would not make the start. Senior Jason Bean made his 2nd start of the season after starting a season opener against Missouri State. It was not known if Daniels would be back this week to face Central Florida on Saturday afternoon. The volleyball team swept Houston this weekend, winning 3-2 on Friday and then sweeping the Cougars in straight sets on Saturday. Match point on Friday came from a double block by Aya El-Nadi and Toyosa Onabanjo. KU is now 2-12 overall and 3-1 in the Big 12 Conference. The Jayhawks will travel to conference leader Texas for a Thursday and Friday series against the Longhorns. The soccer team scored a goal for the first time in 4 matches, but it wasn't enough to beat Texas as the Jayhawks fell 2-1 to the Longhorns yesterday at Rock Chalk Park. Freshman Caroline Caston scored her first career goal late in the match, but KU lost its first home match of the season. KU is now 3-4-6 on the season and 0-3-2 in the conference. Next up is a road trip to Fort Worth for a Thursday night matchup with TCU. The cross-country teams competed in 2 meets this weekend. The women's team placed 2 in the top 10 at Gans Creek Invitational in Columbia, Missouri on Friday. Senior Loda Latima placed 4th and junior Kennedy Crew Group was 9th to help the Jayhawks to a 6th-place team finish out of 23 teams. Meanwhile, at Notre Dame, senior Chenier Gibbons won the individual title with a personal best time of over 5 miles, finishing in 23 minutes and 8 seconds. As a team, the Jayhawks finished in 14th place out of 18 teams. KU will compete in 2 weeks at the Pre-Nationals Invitational in Charlottesville, Virginia. That's it for sports. After the break, Dulce will be here with the weather.
days later.
Good afternoon, Jayhawks. It's spooky season officially. Right now we are currently overlooking the football field. There is not much clouds, overcast. For the Plains right now, it's currently Kansas City 84, Ottawa 86, Lawrence 85, and Topeka 86 degrees as well. For our satellite radar, we are currently seeing a lot of action right here on the East Coast and West Coast that will be affecting us later on this week. For right now, current conditions, it is sunny with a high of near 91 degrees with 10 miles per hour of winds coming from the south. For our hourly planner, we are looking at 88 degrees, 83 degrees, and then towards the night, 70s. For tonight's forecast, mostly clear with a low around 67 degrees with the same wind of south 10 miles per hour. And for tomorrow's forecast, mostly sunny with a high near 86. We are going to be seeing some high breezy with gusts as high as 30 miles per hour. So if you are outside, you are definitely going to feel it. And for our extended forecast, we are going to be seeing a lot of that radar coming in towards us towards Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and slowing off towards Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. For Wednesday, we are seeing chances of thunderstorms. So if you are outside, make sure to carry an umbrella with you. That is all for today. We'll see you tomorrow for our evening KU.